Hi, welcome back to yoga. Today's flow is heart openers. So heart openers are really good for if you're not feeling so great about yourself or you're feeling a little low self-esteem. Heart openers allow us to release any fear that we're not good enough. It's just really good for balancing kind of like the chakras all together. So, and if you're not into all that hippy dippy stuff, heart openers are just really good for just opening up that heart space and getting a great stretch. Today I have a block with me, which is not needed. You could use a pillow, folded up blanket, any other like soft, maybe a book, something soft that we could use. You don't need to use, but it's just a suggestion. So we're gonna get started on our backs and we're gonna come to fish pose. So if you want, you can use the block and you can bring it at this long length. And you can use a pillow or a blanket, like I said, and we put it right between the shoulder blades. And every body is different, so just see what feels good for you. But so placing the block below the in between the shoulder blades. And once you find that comfortable spot, maybe you extend the legs and maybe you open up the arms all like a T. So really starting with this really opening heart space pose, fish pose. If this does not feel good for you, certainly just come out of it and find a comfortable space on your mat, flat. If you have a second block or a second pillow, you can slide it under the back of your head for some extra support. But just begin to allow yourself to settle here. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the nose of the mouth. Inhaling so much love. And the exhales allow that heart to open just a little bit more. Melting the shoulder blades into the mat. Inhaling and exhaling. The color associated with the heart chakra is green. So if you want to bring the color green to mind, just to help you settle into your breath here. Visualizing any shade of green, whatever shade that brings you the most comfort and relaxation. Maybe on your inhales, that green is vibrant. And your exhales, the green is soft and silky-like. Just breathing here. Beautiful. And staying here as long as you want. This might feel really great for you. But to come out of this fish pose, bring both soles of the feet to the mat and drop both knees over towards one side and just slide that block or that pillow or blanket out from under you. Hugging the knees into the chest, and maybe you rock the lower back one way and the other way. Just noticing how the spine feels today. And then bringing the hands behind the knees. We're going to rock and roll the length of the mat a couple of times, massaging that spine. Feeling the floor creak, and then come to a comfortable seat whenever you're ready. And we're going to inhale, bring the arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart space. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, arms come behind you, and you can interlace the fingers at the lower back, or maybe the hands just come to the lower back, like so. So just see what feels good for you. And if they are interlaced or if they aren't just at the lower back, inhale, bring the heart space towards the ceiling, opening it up. The gaze can follow. And then exhale, release the bind. Inhale, arms reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands come back to center, heart space. And just bring one palm to the heart space and then the other on top. Maybe the eyes are closed or maybe there's a soft gaze here. And I invite you to bring awareness to your heartbeat. Maybe you can feel it here. A reminder that we're alive and we are blessed. And I invite you here to set an intention for this heart opening practice today. Maybe you want to set a mantra for yourself. I love and accept myself at all times. I am enough. Or maybe you want to send some love to someone that you feel like just needs that little extra love today. Whatever it is, inhaling through the nose. And exhale, let it go and releasing the hands to the mat. Inhale, arms back up towards the ceiling, gaze can follow. Exhale, hands come down beside you and behind your lower back. Again, opening up that heart space towards the ceiling. And then exhale and release that. And from here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat and the hands to the mat. So we are just comfortable right here, right? So we're going to press into the feet and to the hands. So if your wrists don't feel great, maybe you just explore how this feels and just be patient with your wrists. But if it feels okay for you, we're going to inhale, lift the hips away from the mat, and we're going to find a reverse tabletop here. So straightening out those arms and pressing the hips towards the ceiling and keeping that neck neutral so we're not bringing the chin towards the chest and we're not dropping the head behind us. Inhale here and then exhale, release the hips slowly to the mat. Recross at the ankles and we're going to find our tabletop. So noticing the same shape, just a different direction here. So the hands are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. Inhale, drop the belly and lift that heart space, looking towards wherever. I'm looking towards the wall. Exhale, chin towards the chest, spine towards the ceiling. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the heart space. Exhale through our cat. One more time, inhale, drop the belly, opening up that heart space. And then exhale, drop the chin towards the chest, spine towards the ceiling. And then finding our neutral tabletop here. And we're gonna bring the forearms onto the mat. So we're gonna bring the elbows to where our hands are. So that is like so. And so the hands can be towards the top of the mat. Maybe you even walk the fingertips up closer. And so we're gonna transition to our puppy pose. So this can be your puppy pose right here, or maybe you bring the heart space towards the mat and the chin or chest to the mat. And the booty is sticking up in the air. It's all good. Feeling this heart opening, and it's also a shoulder opener here too. So breathing here. If this doesn't feel great for you, an alternative is good old child's pose, bringing the toes to touch and the knees towards the edges of the mat. So either one, we're just melting the heart space towards the mat. Breathing here, coming back to that color green maybe. One more inhale. And then exhale, we're going to press ourselves up back to our tabletop. Curl the toes under, hover the knees and lift the hips towards the ceiling, finding our first downward dog. Maybe you walk it out, pedaling one foot at a time. Shaking the tail, shaking the head no. Shaking the head, yes, I deserve to be loved and I love myself. Coming to stillness and then looking towards the hands and find your way towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up, and we're going to bring the arms alongside us, opening up that heart space like an airplane arms. And then exhale, let it all go. Inhale, reverse that swan dive, arms reach towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the arms down to your lower back, and again choosing either to interlace the fingers or just bring the hands to the lower back. Inhale that heart space towards the ceiling. And then exhale, we're gonna fold forward, keeping this bind. And then releasing the bind, fingertips towards the lower back and hands to the mat. Step back to our high plank. And then shift forward, lower to our lower plank. Inhale to your upward dog or maybe your cobra. Great heart opener right here. Exhale to your downward dog. And breathe. Inhale, so much love. You deserve so much love. Exhale, let any self-doubt go. Bending the knees, looking towards the hands and step it forward. Inhale, halfway up, bringing those arms alongside us into those airplane arms. And then exhale, let it all go. Inhale, reverse that swan dive, arms reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring those hands behind you. Find what feels good, interlacing the fingers or hands to the lower back. Inhale, heart space towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward, keeping that bind. Arms release to the lower back, into the mat. Step back to your high plank and hover to your low plank. Inhale to your upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe in. Breathe in so much love. Exhale, let it all go. Bending the knees, looking towards the hands and step it forward towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale to let it all go. Inhale, reverse that swan dive, arms reach. Exhale, hands to prayer. Palm on the heart and maybe the other palm on top. Coming back to that intention, that mantra. I am enough. I love and accept myself at all times. Or again, sending love to someone else. From here, we're going to bend the knees and sink the hips in our chair. And we're going to open up the arms like goalpost arms. So opening up that heart space here. Breathing in, feeling so much strength throughout your whole body. Hands come back to center and fold forward. Planting the hands and stepping back to your high to low push-up. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale to your downward dog. Inhale, that right foot floats towards the ceiling. Bend the knee and open it up, maybe making some circles here with the hips or the ankles, whatever feels good. And then straightening out that leg, look forward and step that right foot towards the hands. Pivoting the back foot and rise up to warrior one. Big bend in that front knee. And then we're going to bring those hands back to the lower back, choosing what feels good, interlacing our hands to the lower back. Inhale that heart space towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release hands to the mat. Step back to your high to low, or right back to your downward dog, whatever feels good for you today. Heart openers are self-love, so do what feels good for you. Just because I say something doesn't mean that's what you're doing. Listen to what your body tells you to do. Inhale, that left foot rises, bending and opening up that hip bone, making some movement here maybe. And then straightening out that leg and step it forward. Pivoting that back foot and rise up to warrior one. Big bend in that front knee. Hands come to the lower back or interlace. Inhale, heart space towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to the mat and step back to your high to low or just your downward dog, whatever feels good. Breathing here. And inhale, floats that right foot away from the mat. Look towards the hands and step that right foot forward. We're going to inhale, press into those hands and that right foot. Lift that heart space. And then exhale, straighten out that front leg and fold over. Inhale, big bend. Look forward. Exhale, fold over that front leg. One more time. Inhale, big bend. And then exhale, fold over. Bend back into that right knee. And we're going to float that left foot away from the mat, coming into our standing split here. Maybe you try a balance, grabbing the right ankle with either hand or maybe both. And then releasing the toes to the mat, back to our runner's lunge. Hands plant, step that right foot to meet the left, downward dog. Deep inhale. Long exhale. And inhale, floats that left foot away from the mat. Look forward and step that left foot forward. Inhale, look forward, bending into that left knee. Exhale to fold over that left leg. Inhale, big bend, big heart opener. Exhale, fold over. One more time, inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Bending into that front knee and floating the right toes away from the mat. Standing split on this side. Exploring once again, maybe one's more wobbly than the other. I know it is for me. And then exhale and release the right toes down. Step the left toes to meet the right. Downward dog. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And inhale, floats that right foot high. Look towards the hands and step it forward. Pivoting on that back foot. And this time we're going to rise up and open up to our warrior two. Big bend in that front knee. Right fingertips forward. Looking over those right hands. There's only one, at least for me. Inhale that right forearm towards that right thigh and the left arm high. Inhale back to warrior two. Flipping the front palm and reverse that warrior. Inhale here and exhale. We're going to open the arms out like a T. Look forward over those fingertips. Straighten out that front leg. Hinging at the hips and find your triangle. Right hand towards the mat, left hand towards the ceiling. And choosing where your gaze goes. Whatever feels good for your neck. Oops. Technical difficulties. Don't mind me with my AirPods. All right. In our triangle here. So maybe you bring that left hand a little bit further behind you, so opening up that heart space. A little deeper if it feels okay. Inhale here, and then exhale back to our warrior two. And we're gonna bring the hands forward and pivot onto that back foot, coming into our triangle. Hands come to prayer. And we're gonna step that left foot towards the middle of the mat. All right? And that right hand can come to heart space. And that left arm is gonna come behind us. And we're gonna press into that right foot as we bend into that left knee. And maybe you grab a hold of that left foot. And right here is our dancer. Or you can tilt the pelvis forward and press into that left hand. Maybe that right arm extends forward, deepening that dancer, opening up that heart space, and a nice back bend here too. Inhale here, whoop, and exhale. Let it all go, coming back to center. I'm noticing all the weight gain is giving me a tough time to balance. I'm officially in my 3rd trimester today. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands and step back to our high plank. Find your downward dog. Deep inhale, full exhale. Inhale, that left foot lifts, looking towards the hands, and step that left foot forward, pivoting that back foot. And we're gonna lift ourselves up from the core and open up to warrior 2 on this side. Awesome. Looking over those left fingertips, bending into that front knee. Left forearm comes towards the left knee, and that right arm can reach. And then exhale back to our warrior 2. Flipping that front palm and reverse our warrior. Feeling that stretch alongside the front body. Inhale here, and then exhale back to our warrior 2, opening up the palms towards the TV or phone, whatever you're watching on. And we're going to straighten out that front leg, and we're going to hinge the hips forward and find your triangle here. Keeping the gaze wherever feels good for your neck. And maybe that right hand presses back, opening up that heart space a little bit more. Awesome. Inhale here, and exhale back to your warrior 2. And from here, we're gonna bring the hands forward, pivoting on that back foot, crescent lunge. Hands to heart space. Step that right foot towards the middle of the mat. Left hand on that heart space, right arm behind us, and we're gonna press into that left foot as our right knee bends and we grab a hold of that right foot. Staying here, here is your dancer, it is lovely. Or tilting the pelvis forward, pressing into that right hand. Maybe that left arm reaches. And your full expression of dancer. See, my balances are really not good anymore. This baby is really throwing me for a loop already. So whenever you're ready, take your time, coming back to center. And we're gonna inhale, arms reach. And then exhale, fold forward, hands to the mat. And from here, we're just gonna come onto our knees. And we're gonna curl the toes under and sit back on our heels. All right. So maybe you grab the pinkies and just bring them under too. Sometimes they get neglected. This is a great toe stretch here. This does not feel good for you at all. Just come out of it. But I think it's really nice to stretch out the toes. I think that's something we forget to do. I forget to do. All right. So from here, we're going to keep the curls under, toes curled under, and we're going to lift the hips away from the heels. And we're going to bring the hands to where our back pockets would be. And we're going to transition to camel. So like I said, I am very pregnant and I can do this because I keep my spine neutral. You can really do anything when you're pregnant if you've been doing it your whole time. So, but just listen to your body, pregnant or not, what feels good for you. But the key is to keep the spine nice and neutral and long. So we're gonna press those, the hips back and the pelvis back. And we're gonna find strength in our front legs. So the back is still neutral, right? So I'm not bending, I'm not making any curves. It's just neutral here. Breathing here. And maybe the hands release to the heels. Maybe. And just to come out of it, one hand at a time, back to those back pockets, hands to the mat, and just tap out the feet. Let that all go. Crossing at the ankles or bringing the feet towards one side and finding your way to your bottom. Kind of on our way back to where we started. The knees are bent and we're coming on to our bellies. And we're gonna do one more back bend here. Things are getting difficult for me. So the hands are down by our sides and we're gonna bring the heels in towards our booty. And we're gonna press into the feet and the upper back as we float the hips towards the ceiling. Keeping that spine long here, bringing that chin away from the chest, keeping that heart space open. And maybe those hands come behind you, lengthening here, really opening up that heart space. Deep inhale, and then exhale, let all of that go. Hugging the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a huge hug. Thanking your body for everything that it just did and does every minute of every day. Thanking your mind for just allowing yourself to be present for the last several minutes or maybe 20 minutes or so. That is a huge accomplishment to just be present. Coming to stillness, and maybe you come back to where we started. Maybe you bring a block or a pillow or a blanket under that heart space behind, in between the shoulder blades. Maybe you open up those arms like a T again and just come back to where we started. Feeling like there was a shift from the beginning to now. A shift in energy, feeling more loving toward ourselves, maybe toward others. If anything else, feeling more open in our heart space and just throughout our whole body. Maybe you come back to those long inhales and those exhales. Visualizing that green. And taking as much time as you need and want here in your Shavasana. Remaining here. Namaste.